Hey, Ahon, it's Mr. Obian, Yabo Obian, and sorry it took so long to get back to you regarding these microphones. I've been busy doing this and that, family crap. You know how that goes. Listen, I'll get right to it. You know, the microphones that I use, I've had them all since about 2012. I started getting into Neumann mics. And you know, they're analog mics that need to be paired with a preamp, a good preamp. So what you're looking for is a mic and a preamp. And the key word that I heard you say was you want something that's going to last forever. But I thought the same thing too. And our voices changed. The things that I was looking for was stuff mainly for speaking. And I got stuck with stuff that didn't necessarily apply to singing. I had to do a lot of EQing and all that stuff. And Neumanns are good for that. I had a Neumann, and then I had a, oh man, I forget the name of it. It was like a $1,500 unit, but the Neumann was a TLM 103. That's what I started out with. And it's a version of the U87, but it doesn't use a tube mic in it, and it has no transformer, so it's a lot cheaper, and it's smaller. A U87 is about yay big, and a TLM 103 is about that small. But it uses the same diaphragm as a U87, so it's great for speaking and for singing if you have the good voice for it. But my voice started to change, and I started to sing as well as do a lot of the voiceover stuff. And then Caitlin started to sing, so I needed to get into something else. So I changed that out, and I got some Neve stuff, Neve, the preamp. I changed the preamp to see if I can get anything out of it. The problem is when you're getting those great mics, the U87, the vintage mics, things that necessarily they'll appreciate over time, and they're analog. They should last forever, but the truth of the matter is it's a one model. It's set for one type of voice, and you can't change it unless you EQ it a lot and all that stuff. You're pretty much into, you're going to have to get another mic, like some of the higher, like the U47 is a singer's mic, but it's very expensive, so I don't know how much you want to spend. If you want to stay under $2,000, then you can get any of the Neumann copies. The Neumann is really what everybody's trying to achieve, and they make copies of that. So, but I would stick with the Neumann name because then you can sell it for a pretty good sum of money. But my main microphones were a shotgun mic, because it has compression in it. It makes it sound like a DJ, and it gives you, I have that baritone voice. When I get close in on it, that proximity effect will give me a bass, a lot more bass. So it's good for movie trailers and stuff like that. But you don't need that. What you really need is a singer's mic, it sounds like. And so the higher end ones, I mean, if you're gonna spend the money, a U87 is $3,600. And then a TLM 103 is $1,000. Sennheiser 416, MKH 416 shotgun is that's another, man, that's about $1,000. And then on top of that, you need to get a good preamp. And right now, if I was going to buy one of those analog mics right now, it'd be a Neumann mic, probably the U87, paired with the Neumann preamp that just came out. But those things together are close to $5,000. So if I were you, I would start out small. And you know, I use a Slate Digital stuff. It's driven by software. It has, and it's so close to a bunch of models. It's modeling microphone, and the whole thing behind that is they give you a microphone and a preamp, and they give you the flattest response possible, and then from there they add software to it, whatever you want to do, that copies all these other microphones, and they come so close. Go to their website, slatedigital.com, and check it out. And you know, it's not going to be like a Neumann or a Telefunken that over time it might appreciate, and you can sell it for more than when you bought it for. It's not like that. You know, anything technological, I mean, there's always things that are better coming out. So, but I use it because it has modeling mics for all of those Neumanns. Got the U87, the U47, the Telefunken stuff, the C12, which is what I use, the C12. I mean, those microphones are $12,000. And if you go online, you'll see that there's a lot of artists that are using the Slate Digital stuff. They're doing everything in the box, meaning they're producing all of their albums right out of the computer. And a lot of people don't like to do that. They want the analog sound, but there's a guy named that I like. His name is Dave Pensato. He's a engineer, producer, big time kind of guy, and he does everything in the box. He does everything in the box, and it sounds great. And in fact, the girl who, what's her name? She won Best New Artist of the Year Grammys. I forget her name. And she did everything out of her bedroom, and most of it digitally in the box. I don't know what microphone she used, but for the mic, you can get everything for under $1,000. And that's what I use on all my stuff. If you listen to my stuff, go to my website, yaboobian.com, and I did all of those things. Nike commercials, all of that stuff. I did all of that. And in fact, everything that was sung, I did it on the Slate Digital mic using the U47 modeling software. And it's so good. I mean, there's that, and there's another company that makes it, but you have to end up buying the Apollo stuff. So it's an expensive proposition. You're going to end up paying about $3,600 to $4,000 for the preamp and the digital mic, which essentially they came out after Slate Digital, and but Slate Digital started it all. There's stuff you need to put it on an oscilloscope to really tell the difference, and just listen to the stuff that comes out of it. So if I were you, I would check into that, because it's not so much of an output, and then when you start to make your money, then you can get all of and figure out where your voice is going, as far as the timbre of it, as far as the tone you want to get. Again, you get a Neumann, you're stuck with one type of mic. And for instance, if I had a U47, which emphasizes a lot of mid-range and bass for singing, it has a good high end, that's the only thing that I ever get. And in what I do, which is music and voiceovers, I need to be able to change on the fly according to the style that I want. So if they wanted a Shure SMB, which is what you see a lot of rappers use, or the Sony 800, I mean, those two together, the Shure is under $1,000 for sure. It's like, I don't know, it's probably under 500. And then the C, I think it's called CT800, the C800 Sony, that sucker's like close to $10,000. And the C12 that I use a lot, the real deal is about $12,000 to $15,000. So I'm not going to spend that kind of money. So, but if you take a listen to that stuff, it sounds great. It does sound great. There's nothing like analog. There's nothing like it. But who can afford all that stuff? I mean, if I could spend easily, with a preamp and a mic and everything that I need, limiter and all that stuff, hardware-wise, I could spend 50 grand immediately. So for 10 grand, I would probably get a U87 or any of the TLM 103 mics, those mics, or the U47 or anything around that neighborhood. Usually the price reflects how good that mic is, and the price also reflects that there might be a tube in that mic, and when those tubes go bad, it's very expensive. You'll never find two Neumanns exactly alike, condenser mics that use tubes, because those tubes vary a lot. And the higher end, the ones that are real expensive, use tubes that are no longer made. That's why they're so expensive. But if you get a modeling mic, you'll hit it every time. For me, that C12 modeling mic, Slate Digital, I get the same sound every time. I had a U87 where I had to change out the tube, and it sounded different when I changed the tube. I sold it. I sold a U87 for about $2,600, and then I bought some other equipment. But after I changed that tube, it was horrible. But if it's going to stay in one place, and you're going to cover it every night after you use it and take real good care of it. There's nothing better if you can get those. So anyway, I wish I could show you that stuff, but it's in my little booth over there, and I don't want to disconnect it at this moment. But check it out. It's the Slate Digital ML1. I think that's what it's called. It's the virtual recording system. Stuff's great, man, and I swear by it. But right now I'm not doing that much music, but I do all of Caitlin's videos, and I do all of her demos using the Slate Digital. And depending on the song, I'll choose the mic. And right now, man, they got the Ocean Way mics, they got the Blackbird Studio mics. I mean, they model all those mics digitally. You really can't tell the difference. If it sounds great, what does it matter anyway? You know, I mean, so that's what I would do. You're going to end up spending about $1,000, maybe a little more, with the software, with specialized microphones that model the biggest studios like Ocean Way Studios here in LA, or Blackbird Studios in Nashville, where they have the greatest mics. They have the greatest modeling mic that is marketed by Slate Digital. It's called Blackbird Studios. And their U47, which would be great for you, I think, and your wife, if she's singing, I think those mics would be great. So depending on the voice, you have a lot of choices. So check it out. Let me know what you think. And I do love the analog stuff. I just don't have the money right now. If I had $10,000 to $20,000 to spend, I'd probably get the higher end U47, U87, the C12 Telefunken, the ELA, the Telefunken ELA 250, the ELAM 250. You check that out, man. That is the baddest sounding mic. It's so great. I think it'd be, people like Beyonce, Frank Sinatra, you know, they're using those ELAM mics, and they're very expensive, very expensive. They go, the newer it is, the older it is, the better. So the older ones go for about $30,000, and but the modeling of those things through Blackbird Studios is absolutely the best. So let me know what you think, okay? Sorry, it took so long to get back to you. I haven't shaven, as you can see, and I'm working and worried about Caitlin she's in Washington Heights in Manhattan. So I'm thinking about her. Hope you're doing good. I don't know if you're going to have any children soon or whatever, but hope you like it in LA. I'll talk to you soon, man. Thanks. Bye.